What is the explanation of Ein Mazel B'Yisrael? Jews do not have mazel.
Mazel has never meant and never will mean luck, because luck means chance. And there's nothing lucky about chance. It's totally random. In other words, the concept of by mistake something good happening is foolish. Good luck doesn't make any sense, because luck means it's up to chance. There is no good luck. There's lucky luck. There's luck. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but there's no such thing as they say in the culture, a good hand. Mazel doesn't mean chance. And let me intercede here, something very interesting. There's a volume of letters which are correspondence between the previous Rebbe and his daughter, our Rebbetzin, and the Rebbe, which was published about 6 or 7 years ago, way after Gimel Tammuz. And these letters are quite personal. There's reasons why this volume of letters was published. And it's very personal. It's the personal correspondence between the previous Rebbe and his daughter and son-in-law. The very personal stuff obviously is not published. A lot of it's very technical about books and so on. But there's also a lot of very interesting things in it. And one of the things that appears throughout this volume is that the previous Rebbe was in the habit of using the word glik. As well, Zayin mit glik, Zayin mit mazel, Zayin mit glik. And glik means good fortune. And I found it interesting that the Rebbe, the previous Rebbe, would use a term which is so frequently associated with luck. And of course the answer is because luck has nothing to do with chance. Glik, mazel, doesn't mean chance. It actually means good fortune. So let's take the word chance out of the conversation. Luck doesn't mean, mazel does not mean luck. Mazel means good fortune. And what is the basis for good fortune? And the answer is that we believe, Jewish people believe, Torah believes, that in everything there's life, even in a stone. And life comes from Hashem. And life is parceled out, it's given out in shtikelach, in pieces. Every person has a separate life, every animal has a separate life, every day has a separate life, every week has a separate life, and every year has a separate life. So the word mazel basically means, what kind of life do you have as opposed to somebody else? What kind of life do you have this year as opposed to last year? What kind of life do you have this month as opposed to last month and next month? What kind of life do you have today as opposed to yesterday and tomorrow? And there's mazel tov and mazel ra. When this life reaches a particular person, in a particular place, at a particular time, there's different mazalos. So mazel is not chance. It's a fortune. And there's good mazel and bad mazel. And of course you say mazel tov, that the mazel should be good. So the point is that this is not hoping that to catch lightning in a bottle. It's hoping that when the Eibishter delivers the flow of life of heaven to earth, and the way it works is that he gives you a mazel. And on the basis of that mazel, you're going to have bounty, plenty, or not so plenty. So you can give a bracha for a lot of money, and you give a bracha for a good mazel. And when you give a bracha for a good mazel, the lot of money is automatically beklal, because the mazel is the spiritual life source of the physical wealth, or physical health, the physical joy, the physical nachas, the physical menuchas hanefesh, and so on. So mazel means a spiritual energy, spiritual life, which is the basis of our material existence. And a good mazel means that there's a good spiritual source. So the way the Eibishter made the world, everything has mazel. Because a neshama is a mazel. Your neshama is the source of your physical body. So what is the meaning of Ein Mazel Yisrael as opposed to Umes Ha'olam? Because mazel is everywhere. Mazel is in everything. Because mazel doesn't mean chance, it doesn't mean luck, it means life. And there's life in everything. The meaning of Ein Mazel Yisrael is very simply this. If the Eibishter gives you a hand, deals you a card, in other words, a neshama, for today, or for this week, or for this month, or for this year, or for this circumstance, or for your life, there can be a mazel tov and there can be a mazel ra. There can be a mazel which is good in one way, not so good in other ways, and so on. The meaning of yesh mazel umes ha'elam is that you can't change it. Whatever hand the Eibishter dealt you, whatever life, whatever neshama the Eibishter gave you, is fixed. And that's also the pshat in the pasuk, that there's 70 malachim, asher cholak ad Hashem eisam l'chol ha'amim, and each one of these malachim is responsible for one of the 70 nations. And it's implicit in Teres Sholem, and the Sichos that the Rebbe Rashab said during the First World War, that there's always 70 nations. There's always 70 malachim. They're sustaining 70 nations, even though in the United Nations there's over 200. It's really 70 races, 70 groups, and each of them has a malach. And whatever that malach has is what the nation has, and it can't be changed. So if a malach has a lot, the nation is rich. If the malach has a little, the nation is poor. If the malach has anger, the nation will be angry. If the malach has jealousy, the nation will be jealousy. If the malach has blood, the nation will be at war. And you can't fix that. Ein mazel Yisrael means that the mazel that Yidden have isn't binding. They can change it. So a Yid has a mazel, or it's called in Chassidus, ayin mazel Yisrael. The mazel, the Jewish people, is without a form, ayin. And therefore a Yid can change the mazel, improve the mazel, expand the mazel, but everything goes in mazalas, just like a neshama. So in the world, in Teva, mazel is fixed. And by Yidden, ayin mazel Yisrael. And of course there's many details to this whole question, like the interface between hakel b'mazle talya, everything depends on mazel, and bon chayu mezena la b'zechusa talya ela b'mazle talya, that the most basic needs of a person, which is children and health and parnasa, are not totally in your merits and your schus. On the other hand, we say, if you serve Hashem, you have a mazel. And of course the explanation is the mazel comes from above the place of your earning. So it's possible that your mazel should exceed what you earn. It's also possible that because of your failing to earn, the mazel which was given to you will be squandered. But there's an interface of two ideas. There's always a mazel, and there's always an avodah. But by a yid, the idea that we can change our mazel is the basis for the idea of a mazel.